In this video, we're going to be learning about the law of sines. So, if we have a triangle, any triangle, and let's say we label this angle A, this angle B, and this angle C, and then across from the angle, we have a little a little b, and a little c. Then the law of sine states for any triangle, the ratio of the sine of A over the length of A is equal to the sine of angle B over the side B is equal to the sine of angle C over the side C. So in this first example, this can help us solve for any of the angles, or actually all of them. So if we have this angle A and this side, and then one other thing, we're able to find everything else. So let's start by writing a ratio. We can write sine of 61 over 27. So that's angle A over side A is equal to sine of B over B. So in this case, we don't know anything about that, but it's equal to sine of C over the side opposite, which is 25. So that means we can use this to help us find the ratio. So what we can do is then focus in on these two ratios and cross multiply. So we can say 25 times sine of 61 is equal to 27 times sine of C. And at this point, you can plug this into your calculator, or you can just say sine of C. You can solve for it and say it's equal to 25 times sine of 61 over 27. Now at this point, C is trapped inside of sine, so we take the inverse. So we say sine inverse of 25 times sine of 61 over 27 is equal to C, and we find that angle C is about 54 degrees. So we found this. Now from there, we can find angle B, because if we know two of the angles, we can find the other angle. So since they have to add up to 180, we can say B is 180 minus the other two angles, 61 minus 54. So angle B is 65. And last up, we need to find side B. So let's use our ratio again. So sine of 61 over 27 is equal to sine of angle B, which is 65, over side B. Now let's cross multiply and solve for little b. So B times sine of 61 is equal to 27 times sine of 65. Now solve for B by dividing both sides by sine of 61. So B is equal to 27 sine of 65 divided by sine of 61. Remember, we're working with degrees, so you want to make sure you're in degree mode. If you do this, you find that B is equal to 28 inches. So now we have actually found every single side and angle in this triangle. Let's try one more example. So here we are going to write out our ratio. So remember, this is side B, this is side A, and this is side C. So we can write sine of A, which we don't know, over 30 is equal to sine of B, which is 42, over 35, which is equal to sine of C over C. Now we're going to cross multiply. Let's focus in on these two because this only has one unknown in it. So we can say 35 times sine of A is equal to 30 times sine of 42. So now we'll solve for sine of A. So sine of A is 30 sine of 42 all over 35. So now A is trapped inside of the sine, so we take the inverse, which means we do sine inverse, and we flip this positions of everything. If you plug this into your calculator, making sure that you are in degree mode, then you will end up with A is 35 degrees. Next up, let's solve for what angle C is. Angle C, if they all add up to 180, then C is going to be 180 minus the other two angles. And we find that C is 103 degrees. Last up, we're just missing side C. So what we're going to do is use our ratio again. We can say sine of 42 over 35 is equal to sine of 103 all over C, and cross multiply and solve for C. So C times sine of 42 is equal to 35 times sine of 103. Now we solve for C by dividing both sides by sine. So C is equal to 35 times sine of 103 all over sine of 42, which means that C is about 51 feet. So again, we were able to find all the sides and angles of the triangle.